Hi guys, Kirsten here with the Open True Realty Group. Wanted to share a CNBC report with you that came out today, a couple of hours ago. It's 4 o'clock nearly right now. It came out at 1, so it came out a couple of hours ago. I'm not sure if everybody has seen it yet, but it is falling in line with what we've been telling our clients is coming, and we are now starting to see enough data that they are reporting that it is coming. So I think it's quite important to share. So I'm just going to whip through this so you can get the highlights, and then I will put the link to this story in the comments and in the title of the video too. But I'm going to just jump right in so you can see what's going on. As you can see here, home prices are hitting new highs again, even though high rates have put the squeeze on supply. So home prices are hitting a record high in May, according to Black Knight. Even with the rates still high, home prices are still setting new records in some markets. New listings are down about 25% from a year ago. We did actually see a story that we shared end of June where CNBC also noted again that inventory was down about 29% June on June. So June last year to June this year. So they firmed these numbers up to be about 25% less inventory, less homes for sale. So as homeowners with the sub 4%, so under 4% mortgage rates, they're reluctant to sell their homes, understandably. Home prices hit record high in May, rising 0.7% nationally compared with April at a seasonally adjusted rate, according to Black Knight Home Price Index. Prices which have been rising since January were 0.1% higher in May than a year earlier. So we're seeing prices creeping back up, and I have a couple of images I'm going to show you in a second as well that kind of coincide with that. A sharp jump in mortgage interest rates last year definitely threw cold water on an overheated housing market. I don't think anybody disputes that. I think everybody can see that that's true. I want to say like June time, we started seeing a vast drop in home sales because the rates started increasing. But as you can see here, did not last long. Even with the rates still high, home prices are now gaining again, and the gains are accelerating with each new month. We are definitely starting to see some data that coincides with that and backs that up. And like I say, now we're starting to see some news stories catch up with this to say this. I know a lot of realtors have been saying this. There's no doubt that the housing market has reignited from a home price perspective. That's from Andy Walden, who's the VP of Enterprise Research at Black Knight. Though the backward-looking annual growth rate dipped to 0.1% in May's exceptionally strong positive 0.7% month-over-month gain, would equate to an annualized growth rate of 8.9%, suggesting that the annual home price growth rate would remain at or near 0% for only a short time before inflecting and trending sharply higher in coming months. So what does that mean? It means prices are going to go up. We are still seeing record lows, and I know people are probably tired of hearing me say that, but we are still seeing record lows of inventory, meaning we still don't have enough houses for sale for how many buyers are looking for houses. I know it may seem like that can't possibly be right, but we are about between 5 and 6 million short on houses needed. So what happens when demand is there but there is no supply, there's no inventory? Prices go up. We saw that in COVID with tons of stuff like construction prices and so on. Houses are no different, same thing. So prices began dropping last summer, like I said, around June, after the average interest rate on the 30-year fixed rate mortgage more than doubled in 6 months. I think everybody saw that. That was just all over the media. They continued to fall until January. I think we all definitely noticed that as well, when buyer demand returned but came up against very tight supply. This is very important here because I talk to a lot of buyers daily where they say, well, houses aren't selling. That's not necessarily true. A lot of that comes from pricing incorrectly. We're seeing more expireds than we did last year. We're about 3 times as high on expireds in certain areas. Last year and during COVID, we didn't have any expired listings. You put it on the market, it was sold no matter what it was, no matter what the price was. We are still seeing that there are not enough homes on the market. Just because demand is there and supply is short, we're not quite in that realm where we can name the price and someone's going to buy it. So a lot of the failing or falling home sales comes from pricing incorrectly. But it does state here, buyers have simply gotten used to higher rates. I can attest that we are seeing buyers be more and more comfortable with those higher rates, we're getting a lot less resistance on people when they're getting pre-approved. Earlier this year, I shared that I believe 6% mortgage rates were accepted as a new normal. We did share that. If you didn't see that video and that share, you can scroll back through our postings on our pages and see that. And he adds on, I think now we're in an environment where 7% mortgages are now the new normal and people are accepting it. That's from Robert Refkin, the CEO of Compass Real Estate, one of the real estate brokerages. Definitely agree with that sentiment. I think we're seeing the same thing. I'm seeing a lot of people do as we advise of, if you can stomach and you can hold on to that higher rate and you can make those payments comfortably, do that now. Buy while there was less competition before the prices go up, because everybody that's waited, they are going to come back to the market and buy homes, and they are going to drive the prices back up. So let them do that. And our clients were advising, buy now if you can stomach the rate and stomach the payment. Let them drive the prices up and then refinance later when you have equity in the home. So you're essentially letting all the people that are waiting pay for your refinance for you. Let me carry on with this right here so you can see. So by May, just over half of the nation's 50 largest housing markets, mostly in the Midwest and the Northeast, had either returned to their prior price peaks or set new highs. That's a tongue twister. So you can see, most of the areas that they're mentioning had gone back to what their pricing was pre-pandemic. Home prices are still weaker in the West, so California, and in many of the cities deemed pandemic boom towns, which had an influx of remote workers finding new homes during the earlier days of COVID. Everybody that was allowed to work remote, they moved further away for a cheaper cost of living, maybe more things to do around where their new home was. So they left their homes in those areas and went elsewhere, and they caused boom towns. It does mention Austin down here, but Austin's definitely one of our boom towns. Those prices are starting to firm up. Homes in San Jose, California lost 10% of their value last year, but inventory is starting to fall again and prices are now reheating. Again, when inventory is low, and the buyer demand is there, it's going to push up prices. Just like when we didn't have enough cars for sale during COVID, prices went up. For the first time ever, used cars prices was going up. More people that want the item, the more the price goes up. And we have seen that 10% value did hit some of our California buyers that were relocating to different areas across the U.S. So it's good to see that that's reheating for them so they can continue their plans. They rose 1.4% in May, the second largest month-to-month increase in any market on a seasonally adjusted basis. San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Seattle also saw price growth in May as well. So again, the data is starting to catch up with what we've been feeling, and prices are starting to increase in those areas. The one exception is Austin, Texas, one of the biggest pandemic boom towns. We had so many people move to Austin, it was insane. Inventory there continues to run above pre-pandemic levels, meaning there's still more houses for sale than pre-pandemic levels, putting downward pressure on prices. Again, there is more supply there, and even though there is more demand, the supply is still high, so the prices are dropping because buyers have choices. As soon as buyers have choices, they don't have to snap up every home that pops up on the market. So the prices, which have fallen to 13.8% below peak, the largest gap of any market. Just 8 of the top 50 markets are currently more than 5% below their 2022 peaks. So Austin is leading the way right there with the 13.8. In general, though, supply is declining again. New listings are down about 25% a year ago. Again, we just touched on, they did another story where it talks more in depth about that a couple of weeks ago, and you can find that on our page. As homeowners with basically under 4% mortgage rates are reluctant to sell their homes and potentially pay a much higher interest rate on another home. So it's just kind of a standoff, kind of stagnant there. Total inventory is now about half of what it was just before the pandemic, which caused a massive housing boom. Pre-pandemic, we were already upside down on available homes. We are half in inventory of what we were then. So just imagine what that's about to do to the pricing. Sales of pre-owned homes are still much weaker than they were a year ago, but that has a lot less to do with higher costs and more to do with less supply. This is something that I reiterate almost day in, day out to clients that are looking for homes, because I'm hearing, well, houses aren't selling. There's nothing available for sale. Nothing's going on the market because the real estate market's down and so on. I hear all kinds of different variations of this. I think this is very true right here. It's not necessarily that people aren't buying pre-owned homes. It's just that they aren't available. There's not the supply there. So this is the next thing I hear people talk about a lot, and I'm glad they raised this in here to highlight. But the median price range for a pre-owned home in May was $396,100, according to the National Association of Realtors. A Redfin real estate brokerage reported last week that the average home is now selling just above its list price for the first time in nearly a year. So we are starting to see multiple offers again. We're probably around 30%, 30 to 33% of listings are seeing multiple offers. So it's not 100% like it was during COVID, but 33% still a pretty good chunk. I've had people mention to me, well, I saw in the news that the median price range has dropped like crazy and it's so much lower. It's dropped like 100,000, and if I buy a home, I'm going to take that $100,000 hit. That's not what this means. If you look at the inventory as a whole, you've got less of the higher priced homes, the 700,000, 800,000 and plus, million plus dollar homes selling. And when that happens, it's going to drop your median average, because your median average is made up of what is selling. So if people are putting between $100,000 and $350,000 homes on the market to sell, that's going to change your median, because your median is now between those price points. And why are we seeing more of those homes sell versus the larger, more expensive, maybe considering luxury homes, things like that? Well, think about life changes. Life changes are what cause most real estate sales. People that are living in a $700,000 house that has 4 or 5 bedrooms, 4,000 square feet, if they have the life change of someone got married, or a family member got sick and needed to move in with them, or someone got pregnant and there's a baby on the way, they likely have space to suffice and keep everybody under that same house. They might have to move some things around, but the house can handle it. You have those life changes in a $300,000 house where it's a 1,600 square foot. There's nowhere to put an extra person. There's nowhere to put an extra baby. They have to sell those homes. Job relocations, things like that. Most of the time, those life changes affect that lower end, like under $400,000 or $100,000 homes more than they do above that price point. That's all that it is that it's affecting that median price range. It's not that the housing market's plummeting and houses are getting $100,000 cheaper. That's not what it is. It is just that those ones are selling more right now. And this last bit right here, bidding wars are clearly coming back. We just touched on that, even if affordability is taking a hit. This, I think, is key. This is probably the most important paragraph of this whole thing, because I hear so many people say they want to wait. And we talked to people end of last summer, June, July, August, September time, that said they wanted to wait. And this is one of the things we were attempting to reiterate. And unfortunately, the media was louder, so a lot of people heard the media instead. But right here, you can see as of June 22nd, with 30-year rates at 6.67%, it required $2,258 per month in principal and interest to make the monthly payment on a median priced home with 20% down and a 30-year mortgage, according to Black Knight. That is the highest such payment on record, marginally higher than the $2,234 required back in October. So that right there is what we in the industry would consider the cost of waiting. Because right there, the same house is costing, instead of $2,234 a month, is $2,058 a month. That might not seem like a lot, but if that's just that hair over, I've had insurance where we've had an insurance quote come in and it was like $3 a month too high for a buyer's debt to income ratio. So that does matter. It does come into play. There is a true cost of waiting, but like I say, I'm going to put this video in the title of this link in the title of this video. You can watch this video right here where they discuss this in more detail, and I would dig around on this website, business, go to real estate. You can see a whole horde of stories right here that they will show you, that you can kind of keep an eye on what the market's doing. I'm going to minimize this. I have 2 things I wanted to show you just so you can see what the trends are doing. The first one being, let's see, this one right here. So this is your median price range versus appreciation. I know a lot of people are more visual and they like to see things like this. So basically you can see, you know, if a home that's sold at 200,000, 250 and 300, this is what your median is going to be made up between these three. You can also see that I had him draw up, you know, what the appreciation would do to the house prices. So people that were looking at a $300,000 home last year, we saw around 6% appreciation. So 2023, that home is now worth 318. And that's just straight appreciation. That is not, you know, this influx that they're talking about of buyers coming back to the market, because we've got half the number of homes available for sale right now. So that bears thinking about if you are on the fence about waiting. So you can see the median price range changed 13% because homes 4 and 5 didn't sell. Only these 3 homes in these price ranges sold. These guys have space. They have, you know, maybe a guest house, maybe a guest suite, maybe an apartment, maybe they just have that extra spare bedroom, or an office they changed into a guest bedroom to accommodate life changes. These homes didn't have that, so they had to sell. So median price range may have dropped 13%, but appreciation went up 6%, so the prices still went up of these homes. And it did for these too, but these aren't in the median price range. So you can see right here, there's less upper end inventory, greater differential in payment due to the rates, the location definitely matters, and you've got more transactions on the lower based on need, children, life changes, and so on. Let me see if I can get the other image to pull up for you right here. This one is your home prices, and this is from the MBS Highway. It's another awesome resource. You can see right here, January, we were still seeing that cooling of the market. It was less than the last couple of months before that, if you look at their graph and pull that back further. But you can see February, March, April, we were definitely trending up on the home prices. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions on what this means for you, what the market's doing, etc., you are welcome to give me a call, drop me a text, shoot me an email, whatever is easiest. I'm happy to chat and see how this can affect your plans, and just see how we can help. You know, we've got multiple programs that can go around these issues as far as like cash offer sales and things like that, finding you homes pre-market, because the inventory is so low. It is more important than ever to be making sure you're looking pre-market to see that you're not leaving any homes available that could be a perfect fit for you. We run by the motto of sell on market with mass marketing and buy pre-market, where you can buy at a decent rate and have less competition. So if you have questions about any of those things, let me know. I will put comments in a link in the comments as well on this video, so that you can see where you can find all of our programs. But I hope this was helpful. I would definitely keep an eye on this and see how it can affect your plans.